I'm a beginner rider. I've been riding for the last year or so. Started on a basic entry-level hardtail. Really been enjoying it. I'm looking to take the next step. Not really sure where to go. The kind of riding I'm trying to see myself doing is just a little bit more advanced trail riding stuff. Maybe sort of train towards some stage races. And then I know it's a lot to ask, but also maybe start doing a little bit of jumps here and there. What would you say is a good place to start looking?
Well, for starters, of course, we're looking at dual suspension.
Okay.
That's the step that almost anyone goes to from a hardtail at some point when their skill set improves and they're looking to step it up a notch. What I would recommend is something in the range of 120mm travel to 140mm travel. Wouldn't specifically recommend a cross-country bike from the get-go or a specific enduro downhill bike. 120mm travel to 140mm travel basically gives you an option of doing almost everything that you just mentioned and listed.
Okay, wow. So when you say a trail bike, is that more sort of like a general bike? What is the travel 120 to 140? Because on the hardtail, just one fork on the front and they all look, for the most part, very similar. Could you elaborate on that for me?
Trail bike, basically, another way of describing it is a perfect all-rounder.
Okay.
When you're looking at a hardtail, for example, or cross-country bike, 100mm of travel, you can only do one sort of riding with that type of bike. With the 120mm to 140, the more travel you have on the bike, you have more suspension to absorbing the job, if you're looking to do a bit of jumps. And the shorter travel, 120, not too much travel, still keeping the bike pedal efficient, especially for stage races. Yeah.
Okay. But so, most of the people that I see riding also get a cross-country bike if you want to do longer distance stuff. Why is a cross-country bike so heavily recommended and people aren't generally referring to trail bikes?
I guess most of those people that are recommending the cross-country bike as the type of riding that they do, they're probably very serious about their riding. They're very strong riders. They want the lightest bike as possible. They want to get a really good time. So that's why they would recommend a cross-country bike. Whereas for what you're looking to do, that wouldn't serve the purpose of what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
It will, in other words, it will limit you
It
to
will
what,
limit me, okay.
what you're looking to do. Yeah.
What are the things that I should be aware of looking at these dual suspension trail bikes in terms of cost and maintenance, or like what should I be looking at? What's going to be different from going to my standard hardtail where I'm coming from to this sort of trail bike?
First difference that you'll notice from the get-go with the geometry of the bike. You'll notice that from looking at it, from sitting on the bike, riding it, trail bike, it's going to be a lot slacker, a lot more comfortable. You'll enjoy the riding a lot more. Then on the cost maintenance, of course, you're going to be paying a little bit more when buying a dual suspension.
More components,
More moving parts. In the long run as well, when it comes to servicing, maintenance, the dual suspension will be a bit more on the expensive, well, maybe not expensive, but on the higher price point.
compared to the hardtail.
Compared to the hardtail, yeah. And of course, depending on what type of group set is on it, if you've got a really entry-level hardtail with low spec group set versus dual suspension with a one by, that in hand itself will be a bit more costly, but the riding and the performance on a one by versus a two by makes your life a lot easier, making the overall ride a lot more enjoyable.
Okay. And in terms of sort of year models, price points and quality, I'm looking to get the next level bike for myself, something to do more, to push my own limits, to do longer rides, to do more extreme rides. Where would you recommend I start looking in that sort of category?
Year model, you can look at something recent, but downside of that, depending on your price point, if you're looking at between 15 and 25,000 Rand, for example, go for something new. The downside to that will have slightly lower spec components, but if you go for something a little bit older, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a worse bike than the newer bike, the older model will be better spec'd. So for me, the value in the bike is the components on it, the suspension, the brakes, the group set. So I'd look at something a little bit older, but with slightly better components on it.
Yeah, so newer isn't always better.
Not always.
So
No.
rather look for a slightly older machine with better components that's been well maintained.
Indeed.
Okay, that's good advice.
Because the one thing that I have seen is if you do go for newer with lower spec, at some point you're gonna end up looking at better components, either you spend a lot more money upgrading those components, or you'll have to get another dual suspension with better components.
Got you. Okay, cool. So with this sort of trail bike in mind, do you, off the top of your head, have some brands that I should keep in mind or look at specifically? Yeah, what's your advice on that?
Oh, for me, my favorite brand, or one that I would recommend, is a Specialized Thumb Jumper, 130mm travel. That'll be a perfect option, whether it's an aluminium frame, carbon frame. Aluminium, we're looking at in your 20K price point, and then carbon, 30 grand or higher. But if you wanna look at other brands like your Trek, Fuel EX, or your Scott Spark models with 130, like your Scott Spark 950, 940, 920, etc. Or even your Giant Trans, if you look at GT, you look at Merida, you look at Titan, you look at Silverback, those brands generally come in at a better price point. So going back to better components, and if you want something that's really well priced, looking at brands like Merida, Titan, Silverback, you're gonna get everything that you're looking at a really good price.
So what would be the downsides of this trail bike? Because it's seemingly the perfect bike for me, but surely there has to be some downsides compared to a downhill bike or a cross-country bike.
Sure. Honestly, looking at the type of riding you're looking at doing, can't really think of any. But the one that will stand out comparing it to a cross-country bike, it will be a bit heavier, but for what you're looking at doing, I don't think that weight difference will make any difference to you at all. I mean, the more suspension travel makes the bike a lot more comfortable. It's more maneuverable, you'll be able to enjoy the riding a lot more. So looking at the cons of probably everything on the bike, comparing it to the weight of the bike, you'll barely notice that because you're not looking to aim for the podium at all, you're looking to have fun.
So basically what you're saying is the comfortability and confidence will outweigh the little bit of weight on the more expensive, more dedicated race bike.
100%.
Okay.
That comfortability will make a massive difference. That way, I mean, if you went for a cross-country bike, not realizing if it'll serve the purpose of what you're looking to do, as well as, it's not great realizing that you've bought the wrong bike, which you see happening quite a lot.
Yeah, because it seems like everyone steers to cross-country
Exactly.
bikes.
If you have people recommending a said bike, you don't really have that knowledge of what that bike will do. It might work for them, but for you and what you're looking at doing,
Completely different.
completely different.
Okay, so for me at this point, I'm hopefully looking to do like a Sani to C or a Go to Berg stage race. That's sort of the goals I'm working towards. At what point would you say one should start looking at a more cross-country specific bike?
Well, if you get to a point of looking to get a very good time, or you're aiming for a specific time, at some point, regardless of how strong you are, at some point you're gonna have to get a better performing bike. Lighter frame, get a slightly better performing components suited for that type of riding. Then I would recommend a cross-country bike. But other than that, if you're gonna do a stage race, especially given the distance of most stage races, be it 3-day, 5-day, you're looking at an average of 70 to 100 kilometers a day. That comfortability in that long distance riding, sitting on a bike for that long, I think trail bike will definitely serve you really well. But yeah, you're looking to aim for the podium, you're looking to get a really good time, that is the only time I'd say go for a cross-country bike.
Okay. Yeah, well, not looking for any podiums, just looking to have fun. All right, Ken, so you mentioned comfortability, which intrigues me because I want to be comfortable, especially as a more novice rider. What makes a trail bike more comfortable over a cross-country or other bikes?
So unlike a cross-country bike, trail bike, slacker head angle, you sit a lot more upright, geometry overall is a lot more relaxed. You've also got a much longer wheelbase when you're smashing those descents, which you're looking at doing, having a lot of fun. That longer wheelbase will give you a lot of confidence rolling over your technical terrains, your big rocks, your big roots. As well, generally almost all, not almost actually, I'm here to see a trail bike that doesn't come out of the dropper post, which will maximize efficiency going on the descents. Also got a wider bar, generally on a trail bike, giving you a lot more control. Throw the bike around, getting around tight corners. Also, tire setup is generally profile of the tire, a little bit wider and bigger knobs, giving you a lot more traction, grip, especially in your more sandy, especially when you're hitting the tight corners as well.
Okay, so just more, again, that confidence boost, part of that comfortability, less to think about, less to go wrong, just more relaxed on the bike, generally speaking.
Indeed.
Yeah, that sounds like what I'm looking for. Although I'm not really ready for it yet, but so what's the next step after a trail bike? Would one look at sort of like an e-bike if you wanted to do a little bit more with a little bit less effort? What is the next step after a really nice trail bike?
That's definitely an e-bike. Nowadays, generally most e-bikes have been big battery, big motor, but if you're looking to have a lot of fun and you still want to get the same feel that you feel like you're riding a standard mountain bike, then you look at an e-bike with a small motor, small battery, like for example, your Specialized Turbo Levo SL or your Trek Fuel EXE. Those are lightweight, smaller battery, smaller motor. It'll give you the same feel that you normally get from a standard mountain bike, but giving you that assistance to get you up those steep climbs, getting you to go a bit further while you still can have a bit of fun on the bike.
Yeah, definitely, that sounds amazing. Yeah, so while looking forward to that, let me focus on what I'm looking at doing right now. If I wanted to get a trail bike right now, where do I start? Where do I go?
Best place to go to, of course, is Bike Market. Hop over to our website. Website is live. We have bikes rolling in every day. Bike Market this year, there's a day. Nice thing on that, bikes listed on there. There's pictures, there's videos, there's specs. If you want to do a comparison of two bikes and you're not too sure which one to go for, hit us up. We'll send you a comparison video of the two bikes, allowing you to make an informed decision.